right, y'all. So first of all, we're going to get into the charts right quick. It's about 7:30 right now, 12:11. And as far as what I got to do today, the lady is actually leaving to go to Orlando to hang out with their friends here in a couple hours. And so we are stuck alone here. All right, y'all. So I wanted to do this a bit differently. Instead of just hopping on and giving you guys a quick sped up version of me marking up the charts, I want to show you guys exactly what I do every single day, unforgivably, the same fucking time. Routine, obviously consistency kills all types of skill, but consistency turns into raw skill once applied over and over again. So very first thing I do, and I mean this shit, and I can even exit out of all this and tap back in. Look where it brings me to immediately. Forex Factory. Not that I don't trade news days, especially red folder news days. My biggest deal is making sure I trade around it. So 15 to 30 minutes before, I will take it. And once that news release is about to happen, if I'm not in good profit, bro, or can at least put my stops break even, due to me having such tight stop losses, I will remove myself from the trade. And that means even if I'm in drawdown, I will remove myself from that trade. So making sure that I'm not trading during these news releases itself. But just a little quick tip, I am not a fundamental trader. But obviously I'm aware of fundamentals and do understand that interest rates in the economy obviously drive the market. So aware of it just because of my tight stop losses, being a day trader / scalper, only trading pretty much a couple hours a day in and out of the markets. There's no need for me to have a broad view of where the market is going when I only need to know what's going on at that exact point. Okay, so little breakdown here, and this is a simplistic way of you guys executing based off of having a bit of a news edge, just meaning that if you already have your confluences and technicals and such, and a news release happens as far as red folder news, this could potentially help you get more confluence within that trade idea to move forward. Again, do I use news releases? No, this is the only thing that I do with news, so listen up. Okay, here we have CPI news. Okay, so the forecast, meaning what they expect it to be, is 0.3%. The previous was 0.3%, but what really matters is the actual as to what happens when it comes out. So they're forecasting a very neutral news release, pretty much for all of CPI. Okay, so potentially not much movement during this news release, but coming down here to the usual effect, it is quite easy to read this. Okay, so if the actual up here, which is the actual news release itself, is greater than the forecast, so it's 0.4, 0.5, 0.8, whatever, then that is good for currency, the currency being USD. And so if the actual came out 0.5, but the forecast is 0.3, that would be greater than forecast. That would be good for the dollar. Now, if you just based your trade off of just this and think that the market, as soon as that news release happens and it's bearish and you're going to get a good move off of sales for the market, you're going to get destroyed. Obviously this is poetry. You have to paint the picture as a whole. Technicals need to line up with fundamentals. There's a multitude of things where that area of interest, the area of question that you're looking to trade, needs to qualify for before you end up actually executing risk. But something to potentially look at and understand how Forex Factory works, and potentially having this be a bit of an edge further on your trade idea once you're done with technicals. So anyways, let's get back into the markets here. The very first thing is going to be AUD USD. We've been sitting at this impulsive leg here for a while, a couple days. Lower high sitting up here, lower low sitting down here. And obviously during this entire point, we're just looking for sells. Yeah, we had that huge impulsive leg here, which I'll kind of mark out. And then we had that huge retracement here, which I'll mark out. Came all the way up. As you guys know from my previous videos though, you are not thinking that this is a break of structure. You just understand what's going on at these swing points, which is number one, a ton of breakout traders are getting into the markets because it broke above a swing point. Number two, all of these sellers from this impulsive leg, their stop loss is probably at the most obvious place, which is going to be a swing point sitting up here. So they're all being removed from the market here. And number three, liquidity traders who shark these moves are getting into the markets as well. So what ends up happening at these points, a lot of the times, not this. A lot of the times we get a lot of consolidation, sideways movement due to that action, but we hold our marbles. We don't get faked out because more often than not, whether it goes sideways or not, when we get these minor pierces above these swing points, more often than not, it still goes in the direction of trend. And so until we get a mean break above these swing points, we're not going to be looking for any type of switcher structure. Okay. So what happens, it ended up pushing down to a new impulsive leg sitting all the way down here. And so now it's time to mark out new impulsive leg, which just shows us what we need to know on hourly time frame, a bias. When we go to lower time frames, are we going to be looking for sell setups? Or when we go to lower time frames, are we going to be looking for buy setups? Okay, so we got a new lower high up here. We got a new lower low down here. Going to lower time frames, only looking for sells. Okay, so go to 15-minute time frame. All I'm looking for is my same two setups over and over again, which is going to be the same thing. Liquidity of previous session highs. London highs are sitting up here. Why am I looking for liquidity at previous session highs? Because all of the sellers from London session, their stop losses are going to be at these most obvious points, which are swing points: lower highs, lower lows, higher lows. Okay. And so for they were selling here for one reason or another, they're putting their stop loss to protect their idea sitting right here. Once it pierces above, they remove themselves from the position. What's happening once we pierce above? Breakout traders are getting into the market. And what is also happening, sellers, which is me, liquidity sellers, are getting in here as well. So what ends up happening? Well, one of two things. We have to break above, consolidate sideways and push lower with trend, or we just grab right away and push lower, which is obviously very beneficial to us. So that is one setup. Let me go ahead and put an alarm here. And then I'm also looking for supply setups as well. Okay, now we got a nice supply sitting up here, which will run through why that qualifies, and a nice supply sitting all the way up here, which will run through why that qualifies. I have a list of rules here that I use in order to take a trade every single day. Okay, do I look at this? Obviously not. It's just a crutch for my new students to understand what validates a zone for me and what doesn't. But I do want to run through it with you guys. So this is a liquid grab setup. So, check trend. We obviously know our trend is bearish. Number 2, violation higher low with trend. That's going to be this here. If it violates it, why the high and not the low? Because we're selling, so we don't care about a violation of lows. We're not going to buy against trend. Okay, and then number 3 is breaker candle breaking back within the range. So as soon as we push up and we get a candle that breaks back within the range, off to the races, we are taking that trade, period. Okay, coming up to this supply sitting right here, the reason why it's valid is there's a nice gap sitting right before it, which is right here. Market always needs to fill in gaps. This zone is untouched, which every zone that I need needs to be untouched. There is not a Zen zone sitting, or a supply zone sitting directly above this zone sitting right here. And also there is liquidity to take out before coming up into the zone, which is the most prevalent idea behind my entire system. In order for us to get into a trade, we need to see somebody else's stop loss be removed, which in this case is sitting at this major high, which is also London highs. Huge point of liquidity. Okay, same thing sitting all the way up here. It qualifies with the same exact rules, and so we have 3 setups today. We can either come up, break out London highs. If it doesn't give entry or doesn't play out, we have to take the supply sitting up here. If that doesn't give entry or doesn't play out, we have to take the supply sitting up here for our third setup of this trade. And like I always tell you guys, this is the entire idea, is this whole fucking move right here. And so if you guys are not okay with executing 3 trades to potentially hit this this win, that's okay, but this is not the setup for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next pair, which is EU hourly time frame. We'll cruise a bit quicker now that you guys understand the structure of what I do here. We have a bearish impulsive leg sitting right here. And I'll really just label this the bearish impulsive leg, and I'll tell you guys why right now. Okay, so our previous bearish impulsive leg, is sitting right here. Okay, we got a higher low sitting right here. We got a higher high sitting up here. So what happens at these major swing points, when we break below them, we understand what's happening as far as swing traders, and so we're not seeing this as a break of structure yet. Price starts to push back up. Looks like we're going to create new highs, but then we got that new push again, pushing lower, kind of showing that we're probably going to have continuance to the downside, which is obviously lining up with AU as well. That's why I enjoy trading all pairs against USD, because I kind of start to get correlation of where USD is probably going to go. Okay, so going to lower time frame, only looking for sells. Go to 15-minute time frame. What do we got going on here? Well, it already played out, so we obviously can't take this trade, but just to speak about it, we have liquid grab of previous session highs that just happened at 7:15. Okay, so we got the break above, we got the breaker candle that's closing back within the range. All day long, we would be hopping into this trade here, as long as there's a 1 to 2 to lows, which there's just not. You know, I'm not a 1-to-1 trader. I want to make sure every risk that I open up has a potential to make 2 times, bare minimum, what I invested, which is just not the case here. So beyond that setup that is already executing right now, because we just grabbed a ton of liquidity from all these seller stop loss, we got a supply sitting up here, and that's pretty much all I see. You know, so if we can come up, fill in that gap, tap in, we have one setup for USD. These are absolute fucking gems, guys. I'm not holding anything back from you. So first of all, make sure you guys give me a like and a subscribe. I heavily enjoy giving you this information, but in order for me to move forward, I need to know that you guys are paying attention and actually engaging. Is obviously this takes a lot for me, and biggest excitement of all this is I'm doing it for fucking free, and I'm not giving you guys a little piece to the puzzle without giving you the other piece. Where I'm not that type of, I'm giving it fucking raw when I'm teaching. So make sure you're paying attention and executing. You know, this can be huge for you guys as I'm doing it every single day. All right, going over to GU, hourly time frame, impulsive leg. Little rocky, you know, obviously this is our impulsive leg here. High low, high high. What did I talk about at these major swing points? What happens when we get that push below? If it's not a massive push below right away, we don't care to look for a change of structure. We understand what's happening right here, so you get consolidation, manipulation, sideways movement. But we started to push below again, never got a break again, and it kind of looks like, you know, third time's a charm, we're going to continue lower. Now, something like this, bro. What do I really see from the markets? I see a disgusting range, and buyers and sellers are fighting, and nothing is really going on right now. And so within this instance where multiple times we broke below a swing point, still continue to push back in the range, instead of guessing of are we going to flip bearish, are we going to continue on bullish, we'll just look, grab, what have you, I'm just waiting for new structure, bro. I'm going to wait for a break below. I'm going to wait for a break back above. Give me a new impulsive leg, and then we'll start to look for buys or sells on the way up or down. Okay, simple as that. It's gonna be red tag, which I do over here. No trade day for GU. And then moving over to GJ, which is sending it right now on hourly time frame. We have a bullish impulsive leg here. We got a higher low sitting down here. We got a higher high sitting all the way up here. Okay, going to lower time frames, you're only gonna be looking for buys. And it looks like we're starting to break out of that impulsive leg now. But it doesn't matter, you know, obviously we're still continuing to be bullish, but we're not changing our impulsive leg yet, because you guys understand now that initial break, which barely breaks above previous highs or lows, is not a switch of impulsive leg. It's not a switch of structure, potentially just a liquid grab until it gives us that nice mean push for a new impulsive leg. Okay, very, very, very important within my strategy. So going to 15-minute time frame, trying to look for something. I mean, we do have a demand sitting down here, but it's massive. And I hope that we get some type of 5-minute zone to kind of tighten that up, because it's just too big of a zone. I wouldn't go ahead and trade that zone. And then go in a 5-minute time frame, still nothing. Still that same leg that must have been a news candle or what have you. At 4 o'clock, let's go see this real quick. Just want to see if... Nah, man, don't know what that was. Just a big fucking push. I mean, we're talking 100 pips. I have to go look. I have to see. It's probably just like an orange folder news or some shit. I only trade red folder news just because that's most prevalent within the market. So, you know, none of this other shit bothers me too much. 10-year bond on GBP. That was at 5 o'clock though, so that was still after. So, not too sure what was going on there, to be honest with you guys. Okay, going back to the markets. I don't see much on GJ, except for these London lows sitting all the way down here. You know, obviously all buyers from London session are stop loss sitting here, but it's not happening, bro. If price travels all the way down 190 pips within the next hour, I personally will not be executing it, as that is the move for the day. So that's what I got lined out. I think our closest to entry is just going to be this EU and AU, which is what we'll focus up on, which is what I enjoy to do. I'll just put a split screen on this side, put another screen on this side, so I have EU and AU, and we'll figure out what happens from that point. So if we get into something, or if I have any other thing that pops up during volume session, I'll let you guys know. But let's make some fucking money. Beautiful Wednesday, man. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to make this money, bro. Just executed my first trade. We're sitting down about $300 right now. I'm just risking $1,000 per trade. I'll keep it a buck with you guys. I got in a little bit late here, which is all good, not much, but really want to get in at the break of previous candle lows, as it's a liquid grab setup. So simple, okay? all of sellers from London are obviously their stop loss at this most obvious point, these swing points. We talk about it every day at this point. And so as soon as we broke above and violated those highs, I went ahead and executed as soon as we broke below those. I was a bit late, like I said, so not as soon as, but I'm looking for the same targets I look for every day, previous session lows, and let's see if this fucking thing holds. All right, y'all, so while we wait for this incredible trade to play out here, currently sitting up about 1,300. I wanted to run through our daily lesson here. So yesterday's, which is extremely prevalent to probably all of our lives. A year from now, you will wish you had started today. Let's see what we got going on. Appreciate you, Karen Lamb. Oh, shit. Change before you have to. All right, so you know what time it is, bro. A 1-to-1 was yeeted. We are waiting for lows here. So this is more often not what I'm going to pull out at just previous session lows, and I still like 1 to 2.5 or so. But 1-to-1 was hit. Of course, my group is eating as fucking always. I'm up about $1,600 right now. All right, y'all. So I guess we'll come down here first. I really don't like the reaction we're currently getting here. Like, markets is finding some super deep type of support here. I don't know if it's just playing off of demand that's sitting down here, whatever, bro. But due to that reaction that we're having there, I went ahead and removed a little bit of position. Now I was waiting for previous session lows, so kind of soft of me not to wait, but just breaking even on GU yesterday when we were up like 30 pips. It's like, man, let me secure some money, and we'll figure out whatever happens with the rest of this trade. It is what it is. So secured a band about $1,300, currently floating about $900, and waiting to see what the fuck happens with this trade. Solid day in the fucking markets. I'm here every single day to help you guys become better traders, but I can only help you so much. You got to pay attention. You have to ask questions. You have to comment down below what you'd like to see, what you need to see, and I got you. Make sure you guys subscribe. See you tomorrow. Peace.